Hey there, mama. I'm so pumped because number one, I know that the number one thing you want in your journey right now is not just to lose weight, but to start feeling better about your body, how you feel, a little more confidence. And I'm bringing to you today two women who are on a mission to make you feel that way by the clothing, by the activewear, by the way you feel in what you're wearing. And they're just amazing. Their names are Alysha and Theresa, and they are the founders of Alyth Activewear. It's activewear by moms for moms. They met 3 years ago in a fitness group for moms, and over the last few years, with their differences, they have different backgrounds and expertises between eCommerce and physical therapy and fitness, and just they both have a passion for helping moms. So they came together to bring to life Alyth Active. And the way they designed their activewear is so thoughtful. I mean, they address every problem moms face when it comes to what we wear. And let's be honest, like, we're wearing leggings and sports bras and trying to be comfy, but also trying to be cute. And they address that. All of their products are designed to be worn through pregnancy, postpartum, breastfeeding. I've been wearing it the last few weeks, and I've never felt more comfortable or confident when I'm working out. They reached out to me the other month to become a brand partner with their company. And to be honest, I'm really picky about who I choose to partner with because I want to genuinely love what I'm sharing with you guys. And what I decided to do was work out for a few weeks in some of their clothes, some of their gear, leggings, sports bras, tops. And I am sold between their mission, between how I feel in this clothing. We talk about it a little bit in the interview, so you'll have to listen. But I personally remember the struggle, and we were talking about this early on when we first connected, but I remember the struggle right when I got pregnant. I bought a bunch of new bras. Halfway through pregnancy, I had to buy more. When I got postpartum, I was buying more because I was constantly changing in my size. I was constantly changing in what was comfortable on my body. Like, talk about leggings on your postpartum belly. It's just so different, right? I literally was constantly replacing everything because some things are just uncomfortable after having babies, or when you're breastfeeding, or when you're pregnant at 20 weeks versus 40 weeks. I mean, it's constant change. And the hardest part about that is feeling good in your clothes. And part of feeling good in your body postpartum, part of that is feeling comfortable in what you're wearing and feeling confident in that. I have felt that so much so, not just because I've lost weight postpartum and I'm at a place now where I'm at a good weight for my body, but I still need to wear clothes that I feel good in. And Alyth Activewear has served me in that so well. So I figured there would be absolutely no better way to kick off this partnership with them than by having the founders on the podcast and allow you to hear their hearts and mission, because I can speak to it, but it came from them. So I'm so excited to have you here listening to Theresa and Alysha share about Alyth Activewear. Gosh, if you love my message and you love the tough love, you're going to be so here for theirs. They are on a mission to serve you. So I'm just so excited to bring you this conversation. Let's get into it. Hey mama, welcome to the Tough Love Mom Podcast. I know you're here because you're ready to get consistent and finally lose that weight, and you're not afraid of a little tough love. You know what to do to lose weight, but following through on those things feels impossible. You wish you could just feel like your strong, confident self again and want to be a good example for your little ones, but you get thrown off by mom guilt and the unpredictability of motherhood. It's frustrating. Taking on your journey postpartum is hard, but it's not impossible. Hey, I'm Liz, and I've been where you are. I gained a lot of weight in my pregnancies. 90 pounds and then 60 pounds. I needed to lose that weight to take control of my health and honestly just wanted to feel like myself again. With a sustainable approach to weight loss, simple consistency, and working on my mindset, I lost it all in just over a year both times, and I'm here to help you do the same. I believe that we have an ingrained ability to figure out what we need to do, make it happen, and do it in a way that awes the world. If you're ready to stop falling off the wagon, create solid routine and healthy habits, and finally feel your best inside and out, all while enjoying dino nuggets on your salad, you are in the right place. We're about to transform your journey, my friend. Get pumped up. It is tough love time. I'm so excited to have you guys on today, Theresa and Alysha of Alyth Activewear for moms. I'm just so excited to have you guys on. So in the intro, I did a little bit about you guys, but I want to hear it from your hearts, from where y'all come from, the mission of Alyth. But how did you two meet? How did this come to be? Just give us the backstory.
Yeah. So I have a history of e-commerce. That's kind of what I've been doing for almost 10 years now. And I'd owned a business previously, and then I got pregnant and decided to take a little bit of a break, raise my family. But that fire to, I really love fashion and things like that. So I wanted to start something, but I wanted it to have more meaning behind it. And Alysha and I met at Fit for Moms, which is a workout group that's local. Well, there's chapters everywhere. And it brings moms together to work out, which is amazing. You bring your kids. So there's no, excuses of, I can't, get a babysitter for the kids. And so Alysha was teaching, and we met and just kind of hit it off. So we were friends for about almost 3 years before the business happened. Yeah. And Alysha was kind of already dabbling in activewear. And I kind of presented her with like, hey, like, we should do this, let's do something ourselves. And we sat down one weekend. We were on a family trip at her cabin, and we just were like, okay, what would make us different? And that's really where we both realized our passion for helping moms through their motherhood journeys and helping them feel like they can stay consistent with keeping healthy, as well as finding a community that they felt like they belonged to. Before I joined Fit for Moms, I felt very alone in motherhood. And we just felt like if we could help one mom not feel alone, that our mission would be successful.
And now this kind of new world we live in, with everything being so virtual, we wanted to make sure we were able to, reach moms beyond, where we started at Fit for Mom together. So being able to provide a platform for women to, get on Instagram or Facebook and, be able to see uplifting things, or see moms being able to actually get together and, have health-minded goals and mindsets. And it's just a fun way to bring moms and women together through activewear.
We're also very real about motherhood too. And I think that was something that really like bonded us, was our realness about it. Like, yes, motherhood is beautiful and it's the most amazing thing, but you know what? Some days
it's hard.
And so we try to really keep true to that on the page. And so you will see like uplifting stuff, but you're also going to see like times, like I did a video recently where I was like crying because I had a really rough day. Like we want people to know that they're not the only ones feeling this way, and that it's normal, and that it's okay. And that we're here for you, maybe virtual, but like this community is here for you. So we try to like emphasize the realness of motherhood. And what more fun way to bring, like Alysha said, women and mothers together than what we're pretty much all wearing on a daily basis. Yes. Activewear.
Yes. It is the uniform that I live in, except today I was at church. So I'm in like jeans, which is once a week.
Same. I am with you.
Yes. I really like that you brought up the realness of motherhood and how that connected you. Cause I mean, I've got my close mom friends who I send the funny memes to, because motherhood's hard. No one's saying it's not, but we can often get our minds fixed in that spot and only focus on the hard things and not actually work through those. And I think what does help you connect with other moms is when you're going through that hard season together, but then you also are working out of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You're bonding over the hard parts, but you're also spurring on ideas or sharing what's working for you to help you get through that. Is that kind of what connected you, aside from, just the realness part? Were there other things that you were like, okay, we're trudging through this hard thing together? Was it working out together that helped you guys form that deeper bond?
Absolutely. I mean, Fit for Mom, what brought us together is all about making moms, or helping moms continue to stay active while bringing their kids along, right? Like, so not all of us have the ability to have childcare. So you gotta make it work. And, Teresa's still doing some Fit for Mom stuff, but every Monday we do a live workout together through our Alyth page. And my kids are there, and her kids are there sometimes, and my dog's there, and like licking our faces on the mat. And it's like, it's hard. Like, it can be really hard to get those workouts in, but you, like, it kind of like you mentioned, you just kind of rise above and you get it done because it's important. Even though you have hiccups along the way, you got to make sure you make it a priority to focus on your health.
Yeah. And our kids are like the exact same way. We both have a boy and a girl, and our boys are 4 and our girls are 2. And so we're going through a lot of the same things at the same time. So I think when you have someone who you can kind of like laugh off or vent the hard times to, it helps you kind of move forward together, you know, and it's a fun way to do that too. Like if we're having a really stressful time, it's like, let's go for a run. You know what I mean? Let's like work out that energy type of things.
Yeah, it's so important. My husband and I were just talking about this the other day, how movement is one of the best ways you can work through the hard emotions and work through the things that you're stressed out about, because your body's holding all this tension. And so when you can move out of it, it's just so therapeutic. Let's talk about Alyth and how, like, was there like a lightning bolt moment where you guys realized, wait, we need to do this differently? Or when you realized, okay, it's activewear for moms by moms. What was that moment? How did it come to be? Or was it kind of a process where this evolved and you realized how it was going to come into fruition? What did that look like?
It was a process.
It's like a year-long process.
Theresa was like, you know, every once in a while doing her little, I don't know what to call it, little hints here and there. And we need to do more manifesting up at the cabin, because a lot of our conversations happened in Granby, Colorado, where we actually like had evenings where we spent the night together, and we were able to just like chat through what, you know, our focus would be with this brand. And like she mentioned, I did an MLM with activewear, but it never felt like super fulfilling for me. I mean, I loved, you know, the active part of it. I loved bringing women together, but you know, I'm a young mom still. I have, like she said, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm still learning. We all are, mm-hmm. right? And I knew that there needed to be a community that could support moms throughout, you know, the entire journey. And that was kind of what we wanted to make sure was a huge focus on this business.
Yeah, we really honed on and was like, okay, there's a lot of female-led activewear brands, which is amazing, like hooray. Mm-hmm. But us moms make up a huge portion of their client base, but there's really not a single activewear brand that really dedicates itself to moms. And like, let's be honest, like our needs increase significantly after having kids, you know, and for years to come, because our bodies just change. They're just different. And so we just like, when we were sitting there, like, you know, how can we be different? What can we really make an impact on? It just kept coming back to moms. Well, you know, we're lucky because we had that Fit for Mom community. So it was like, oh, well, you know, Jess was saying how she can't ever do high knees because she's large chested and she's breastfeeding and her sports bras aren't supportive enough. So it was just like, we were able to come up immediately with all of these things that could be bettered with the activewear that we already had, to better suit mom's needs. And so it just kind of like, it just really was like a light bulb, like, yes, this is what this needs to be.
We're amidst motherhood, right? And we know that it's not easy. So our goal was to make our activewear line easy for moms, right? Like, so we talked about church. I wore this to church. I have on our devoted leggings. They're ribbed. They have the top stitch. So, and if I want to, I can pop off the sweatshirt and go work out, or I'm comfortable enough lounging in it. So I feel like it's dressy enough for church. Mm-hmm. It's supportive enough for workouts, and it's comfortable enough for lounging. Cause we don't, honestly, like taking out that time to change is so important. Yeah. I mean, it takes away an excuse like, oh, I'm just like not ready to make a change and get to the gym, you know, just like take that, you know, challenge of not having the versatility. And
yeah, we knew versatility had to absolutely be key because, like, let's be honest, we moms have so many responsibilities on our plate. Taking care of ourselves is usually one of our absolute last things that we do, especially if it comes with buying and spending money on ourselves. For most of us, that's kind of a last, you know, it's the last thing on our list. And so we wanted it to be a product where, like, if they did go to buy it, there were so many different ways that it could be utilized rather than just for working out. Yep. And we do on Tuesdays, I do an outfit inspiration. So it shows, you know, at least 3 ways that you can wear the same product, whether it be a leggings or a shirt and things like that. And it'll show it in an active way, a casual way, and a more dressed up way, just to show how versatile the products can be.
That's so smart. And I realized this because as I was going through and picking out different items to get, I was amazed at how specific of a problem each one addressed, because I'm someone who I really like a supportive sports bra when I'm earlier in the stages of breastfeeding, the first like 6 months. I mean, it's got to be like compression to another level, even just to do a strength workout because of just the way I'm built. And I'm doing a lot more running now. And I remember talking to you guys like, what's going to be a good one for running? And I was really hesitant because I forgot the exact design, but it's the one that has the like the strings that cross over in the back.
Oh, is it? No, Warrior bra, the Warrior.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the material's super soft. And I was like, it's adjustable too. And I've never owned an adjustable sports bra, but I was like, I trust you if you're telling me this one will be good. And I am amazed how comfortable. I mean, it's literally my most comfortable sports bra. And you've got ones that have sewn in cups that don't go anywhere when you wash it, which is, I know, one of the biggest gripes women have.
Yes.
And you've got seamed leggings and non-seamless. I'm just like, you address every issue, and it's just cute. There's colors, they're comfortable. And I love the fact that it's not like you said, okay, we're going to make it like this brand or like this brand. It's just so unique to moms and the issues we need addressed. And something else that I thought was amazing is, I mean, I own activewear from other mom companies, but I have issues with each of them. They're not like the nursing sports bras, not supportive at all. Or the seams are super itchy because of the way it's sewn and made, and it's just not as quality. Another one of the brands, I'm not going to mention the brands, but another one of the brands, the sports bra, I say that with like air quotes, it's not supportive, but I'll wear it like during the day because it's comfortable and it's not an underwire bra, but I cannot wear it to work out. For the life of me, even now. So I just love the fact that the gear, the clothing is comfortable and versatile and applicable for any type of body working out. I mean, I wish I'd found you guys when I was pregnant, because Lord knows I needed comfortable clothes.
Right.
Man.
There's so many brands out there too that have like, maternity or pregnancy lines, and that's great. But they also focus on such a wide variety of activewear. And that's one thing that we said that we really wanted to stay dedicated to, was like making sure that every piece that we're putting out there is really dedicated towards moms. Like, we could go off on a tailspin with the amount of activewear we could offer, but if it's not addressing something that we feel like is an issue that moms encounter, we're not going to spend our time on it, because there's already brands out there who do that. And we just really wanted to hyper focus on moms and just make them feel like this is your brand. This is for you, made for you every day, regardless if you're a brand new mom, you're an empty nester mom. My grandma has some stuff. We just posted a photo of another grandma who wears our stuff. It's like, it does not matter where you are in your motherhood journey. These products are for you.
And they're so comfortable. I can attest to that. Each of you has different backgrounds when it comes to pre-kids, your work life. How does your individual expertises and knowledge base help with Alyth and the brand and the mission that you guys are on?
I get so many questions all the time, like, how are you doing all this? I'm like, I'm not doing all of this. I have a business partner. And I feel like Theresa and I complement each other so well with our strengths. And so, like she mentioned, she has history in the e-commerce world. So I feel like she's able to really focus in on that and helping kind of build our brand and a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And then with my background in activewear in the past and being able to utilize social media platforms, and my background in physical therapy, just being able to educate our community on, pelvic floor stuff and postpartum issues and more like body related stuff. I feel like we're both able to really work together to.
I think that's a huge thing that sets us apart. I think she downplays it, but like her being a doctor of physical therapy, I think it really does set us apart, because there's a lot of people who can like build a website and build a brand, and like what I'm offering is valuable for that aspect, but for our community, which is what we wanted to make a big deal about, was like, we're not just selling you clothes. We are your friends. We are your mom community. We wanted to be so much more. And I think her expertise in the physical therapy and, and being a fitness trainer as well, like it really helps bring that community closer together to feel like they have an expert on. I mean, she specializes in moms at her wellness center. Like that's who they go to, when they are looking for relief from pregnancy pain or postnatal pain and things like that. So like, I think that that's one thing that really sets us apart, is the expertise that she has with moms outside of just clothing.
Absolutely. I had a pelvic floor physical therapist on a few weeks ago, and it was one of the most popular episodes. People were talking about it a ton because it's such a area of need and knowledge that we as moms prenatally and postpartum need. I mean, it's a need.
Yeah.
What's your guys' vision long-term for community and that connection, aside from like where you're starting at, what you've started with, and all the value you provide on the social media page? What's your vision long-term with community and connection for the Alyth mom community?
Our hope is we want to start hosting some like in-person events too, so that we can also facilitate moms meeting other moms in person rather than just virtually. Mm-hmm. And once we get larger, we can, my dream is kind of to be able to dedicate women that are part of Alyth, that are part of the company, to kind of spearhead a certain region, and it facilitate more of those moms night outs or weekend workouts or, things like that. Because although it is great to have these virtual relationships, that in-person one-on-one is also extremely valuable. And we want to help foster that if we can. So that's one of my hopes and dreams for the brand, is really to be able to foster building relationships with people within the community together and finding long-lasting relationships.
Absolutely. I don't know. I couldn't have said it better.
I mean, we obviously want to grow. I mean, we'd eventually like to, if we're talking clothing, we'd like to start like a children's line, so we could do some like mommy and me, fun outfits and things like that. So, our
last photo shoot, I brought my kiddos and we were doing some mommy and me workout shots, and it was just fun to be able to do professional photos of that and our clothing, because that's what I do at home in my basement. I do workouts with the kids all the time. And I think that's, like I mentioned before, it's just a nice way to get your workouts in, but also set a great example for next generations on the importance of being healthy and making good active choices.
Yeah.
You guys are going to do boy mommy and me as well as girl mommy and me outfits, right?
Yes.
Because all the mommy and me outfits out there are girls and moms. And I'm like, come on, wear the boy mom stuff.
We've got boys.
Yes.
So yes.
And I've got 2 of them, and it just breaks my heart every time. I'm like, I can only match with them for a few more years. Will they let me?
Right. I can't get my daughter out of a leotard and a tutu. So I don't think I'll get her in.
You're like, I'm not going to wear that.
No.
So funny. So you guys obviously are super busy between growing the business and raising kids and moving forward with what you envision for the company. How do you guys balance that stuff? And you mentioned it earlier, Alysha, but how do you guys do it all? What's your approach to time management, your approach to priorities? Because that's something a lot of listeners, even as they just begin their postpartum journeys, no matter what point it's at, they're like, how do I balance the needs of my family and what I do inside the home and my kids? Every mom faces different challenges with time. How do you guys approach that and still feel balanced? Balance isn't the word. Just still feel present and purposeful with every moment that you have and that you're using. How are you guys doing that?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say since the beginning, we've made this an entire family business. The boys were there, our husbands, the boys were there at, those beginning stages and those conversations. And, they were there to be like, yeah, you guys should do this. And they were behind us 100%. And I think that it makes a big difference. And, our warehouse right now is in my basement. And so my husband helps me fill orders, and
the kids too,
like Riker will write little notes, thank you for your order type stuff. And so it's been a family approach. And I feel like it's brought us all together because we're all just working on this mission together.
We have really supportive spouses too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's, and so they're always, if we need them to help with the kids so that we can get things done, they're always, wanting to step up. We're lucky because both of our husbands are entrepreneurs as well. So they kind of get the kind of chaotic hours, type thing. And that's the thing is, I think for a lot of moms who are wanting to do, whether it's starting their own business or doing a little bit something on the side or whatever, I think what it boils down to is just getting started. Like, you just have to get started. I can sit around all day and say, I don't have time. I mean, like, there's dishes piling up, there's laundry that needs to be done. You know what I mean? But like, you just have to get started. And then you find those little increments of time in your day where you can kind of quick jump on your laptop and get something done. We did a lot of late nights where where I still do, where I go over to her house after the kids go to sleep, and, we get work done then. And we're lucky too, because the kids are like getting to school age. And so I kind of dedicate like my major work days to the days that they're in school. That way I can be more present after they get out, and I can also be present on the days that they're off of school. But like, the reality is there's no perfect way to make time. my Monday isn't going to look the same as my Tuesday or my Wednesday. And if you keep that in mind, when you have kids, things just have to be a little bit more sporadic. They're not going to probably be as scheduled as you're used to. Like if you have an office job or something like that, you make the time because it's important. If you can't make the time, it's probably not that important to you. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but I think if you really have a passion like we do for helping moms and fostering this amazing motherhood community, you make the time, you find it, and it's always a balancing act, and no day's perfect. And some days I blow up on the kids and, apologize, profusely after, it's never perfect, and that's okay. That's what makes it so beautiful. We have to stop thinking there's this perfect solution, this perfect equation of how to be a working mom and a mom. It's not perfect, and that's what makes it beautiful.
And Theresa and I knowing each other so well before we grew this business together, I think was really important, because she can sense when I'm feeling like overwhelmed with other aspects of my life, not just our business. So she's like, hey, and she'll come over and help with stuff, or vice versa. And we kind of know where to like help if time seems slim on one end.
Yeah.
So I think just having a partner, if possible, on the journey with you that understands you and what your needs are, and being able to communicate those needs, as we have been harping on to our community.
Yeah, right.
Like, communicate the needs.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's the thing is we as moms, we don't want to like burden other people, but like there's so many people in our communities that are willing to help out. And like I said, if it's that important to you, like just ask for help. Like I have friends like who I've been able to like drop the kids off for a couple hours to get something done, or you know what I mean? Like it is hard for me. Like I'm not the type of person that likes to ask for help at all. But when something's important to you, you just got to do whatever it takes to make it happen. There's so many people willing to help you. So really lean into that.
Yeah. And the communication aspect. My husband was on the podcast a few weeks ago and he harped on that. You just have to communicate, especially we were talking about more so the postpartum journey and wanting to lose weight and just feel more confident again. And a huge part of that is it's getting out of your head and what other people are thinking and how you're affecting their needs and making them feel, and just talking through it instead. So yeah, with your husbands, with each other as business partners, so key. It's so key. Were you guys like this with time management early on? Was that easy for you, or was that like a totally steep learning curve like it was for me?
We're both entrepreneurs. So like I've been doing my husband and I have owned other businesses, and and so like I started doing this pre-kids, and same with them. They own their own wellness center, her and her husband. So so like yeah.
I think mine started in college, honestly, as a college athlete. I always knew I got better grades when I was in season. Like the busier you are, the better at time management you are. So, and I just feel like prioritizing my time is easier when I have a lot on my plate. I don't know if that seems backwards, but it's like, all right, I have, a couple hours before I have to head back to work. Computer is shut, phone is away. I'm spending time with my kids because I want this to be quality. So I don't have as much quantity of time with the kids as much anymore, but I feel like the quality of time is so much higher. And I think I've tried to talk about that a lot with stay-at-home moms. I feel like stay-at-home moms get lost in that because there's so much quantity that they're like, that you're pulled in a million different directions, as opposed to like, okay, I get 2 hours with my kids a day. Like I'm going to make sure this is the quality of time they need. So
yeah. That's a really good point. I've never thought of that before. How when you have more of the time with the kids all the time, it's harder to make it quality because you're like, it's burns you out almost.
Yes.
Very interesting point.
I've learned that recently. It's like,
I would stay at home before. So like my husband and I had our business. Like I said, I took a break to kind of help to raise the kids and things like that. And so like, I was doing the same thing where I was like, I'm with them all the time, like that. But then I realized like when I started the business and like, wow, like I was with them a lot, but the quality of time I was getting with them was not like, I feel like same with Alysha, I'm getting more quality time with them now that I'm, really like focusing on those times that I have with them versus when I was with them 24/7. So it's just a different appreciation, I think, for time and those small moments with them. So, but if you're just getting started, I mean, like, regardless that we started before we had kids on our entrepreneurial or like starting a business, like it's always a challenge for everybody. Like, I think that's what people get so deterred by is like, it's hard. It is hard. It's hard for all of us. Like no one knows what they're doing ever. Like and the sooner you tell it, like, ingrain that in your brain, like the more you'll realize like you can do this because literally no one knows what they're doing. Like they just
Absolutely.
don't.
Absolutely. It's really interesting listening to you guys say this because I'm realizing after I started the podcast, I mean, I doubled the amount of stuff that was on my plate, but I felt a lot more present. And I almost felt like I had more time with the kids, but I think it was the time I was spending with them was more intentional. So it was interesting that you guys said, I just had a little light bulb moment when you guys were talking, which is good. Y'all are about 6 to 8 months ahead of me in motherhood. So I'm very much so right now. I'm like, ooh, what can I take away from this conversation and learn and glean? So it's super helpful.
Why we love our community too, is because there's moms at every stage and we can all take pieces of advice from those moms. And so that's what just makes it so fun.
Is a lot of your community local in Colorado right now?
That's how it started.
That's how it started, but it's definitely branched out a lot since then. Awesome. So yeah.
That's awesome. And in person, is most of the in-person stuff in Colorado are you working on getting that stuff going?
Yeah, we're talking about doing an in-person self-defense class. Awesome. And we're going to partner with Fit for Mom on that. But yeah, we are, like I said, with COVID, it's made it a lot more difficult. But we are starting now with things kind of easing up to get those in-person events started, because I think that's going to be a huge success for us.
So there's any moms listening that are like, okay, one, I love their mission, which I don't know a mom that wouldn't, because community and just knowing you're not alone in a lot of things, and then having clothes that make you feel good, which I know is huge postpartum when you feel not in your body at all. If there's moms hearing that and they're like, okay, this brand sounds amazing, I want to try their clothes out, I'm going to go get some stuff, make sure I love it, and they want to become part of the community, is the best place right now to connect with you guys on social media and just communicate with you. Communicate again, there it is, but communicate about when you guys are planning in-person stuff, whether they're local in Colorado, maybe wanting to meet you guys and come do the self-defense stuff, or down the road, if they're listening to this a few years down the road, becoming one of those in-person point people for Alyth.
Yeah, social media right now, that's where we'll be making all of our announcements for all of like the in-person stuff and our email list as well. But yeah, that's the best place right now would be social media for sure.
Perfect. Oh, I love that. I think community is so important. And I maybe have talked about it here and there publicly, but I've always had on my heart with the Tough Love Mom brand down the road to have in-person communities that get together to do hard things, whether it's an obstacle course race or a half marathon or a 10K, because that is where, one, you get mentally stronger, which we need as moms. We need to be resilient. We need to be problem solvers. We need to be able to trudge through hard things and not get stuck in them. And you do that together. And one of the biggest things I've ever learned, also an athlete in college and doing things after my college athlete career to challenge myself still, you grow that confidence and those skills through doing physically hard things, even if it's just a 20-minute workout, which join you guys on. I'm going to try to join you guys one of these Mondays to do one of those. But that's where you really forge those characteristics. And when you can do it alongside other moms, it's transformative. So it's always been part of my heart for this brand moving forward to kind of that like long-term vision, because it's foundational and it'll make our kids better. And that's what we're doing this for, is our kids and the next generation. If you guys could speak to your pre-kid self or those first weeks and months postpartum where everything was new, what would you tell yourselves?
I think it's the same thing that I said. No one knows what the heck they're doing. Like, you think especially with social media and stuff like that these days, you think everyone's like the perfect mom, and no one is. No one knows what they're doing. We're all taking it day by day. We're all like Googling stuff every 5 minutes. Like, no one is the perfect parent. No one, I would have told myself to put the phone down, stop the Googling, and just like feel confident in my natural instinct as a mother, and just focusing on that, because all the other stuff is like us getting ourselves worked up about, or researching too much, or, whatever, trying to, like I said, be the perfect mom. And it's like, you are naturally the perfect mom for your child. And the best thing you can do is just to be in tune with your, what you feel is right as a mother.
Absolutely. And we've said this word a million times during this podcast, but find your community. I wish I would have found Fit for Mom or a community like Fit for Mom before having kids. I know as an instructor, I got to meet some like pregnant moms, for the first time pregnant moms, that decided to come and do the workouts. And I was like, that is so smart. Yeah. They were able to grow, because I mean, you go through life, you have friends, you have siblings, but they aren't going through that journey in that moment. And it makes a big difference, even you talking to us, your kids are a little bit younger, like your journey is different than ours right now.
Yeah.
So it's so nice to be able to meet people and just talk through the struggles, but also talk through the joys. Like you said, sometimes you just really have to focus on what is the positivity and what brings you light, and, how to get through those hard times by, joining together and having a mutual understanding of like, yeah, this is hard, but it's also really beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I had postpartum, and I found the group after my son was 13 months old, and I wish I would have found it sooner, because it just made such a huge impact mentally, and me as a mom and me as a person. And so I think, finding your community is so, so key.
Absolutely. I remember our community did a meal train for me for Rowan. And I just remember like peeking out the window, like, when are they coming? And it wasn't even about the food. It was just seeing, a mom that, supports me, and just to, have that community, and just like somebody there during those like lonely maternity days. It's hard to go through that alone. So it's really important to establish, I think, a community ahead of time.
So I think trusting your motherly instincts and finding a community would be our two big pieces of advice for sure.
Definitely. Do you guys have, because you both are not near family, right? Most of your families live in the Midwest.
My siblings live here, but my parents and
I have no family. Neither my husband or I have any family here.
So what tips do you guys have? Just more generic tips for moms finding community.
There's so many groups out there. Like I just did a search for moms groups in my area, and there's like MOPS, there was Fit for Mom. There was, I also started doing like story time at the local libraries and stuff like that, where you can meet people as well. So
lactation groups.
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you honestly just put like moms groups and then your city, like a lot of stuff, you'd be really surprised at how many things pop up. There's like meetups.com and stuff like that too. So
and just ask, right? Ask your midwife, ask your OB, just ask around, and you'd be amazed at how well you can connect with other people if you just kind of ask for that outreach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it takes getting out of your comfort zone to do those. So another quick question before we wrap up, do you have any tips on getting out of your comfort zone in this semi-vulnerable season? Because I think, Theresa, for you, probably going to Fit for Moms after going through some tough stuff postpartum, and I know it's really humbling getting active again after having kids. So that, and then for you, Alysha, I mean, owning a business, stepping back into that as a physical therapist after having, I mean, I'm sure there's so many uncomfortable moments that you both have faced, whether it's relationally with other moms and making friendships, or business things, tough times, communication with our spouses and with our kids. I mean, there's plenty of those within the house, right? Underneath our roofs. What would you encourage moms when it comes to facing hard things, getting through uncomfortable moments?
I would just say, find your support system and then just go for it. Even through growing this business, like podcasts was not something that was comfortable for us to do, or like showing our insecurities. Like even, it was one of my first posts just showing my mom's stomach, like what our high-rise leggings cover up. But it was important for our community to see that, like, okay, my body is not perfect. Theresa's body is not perfect, but it is. I mean, it's our perfectly imperfect bodies, and just being able to show those vulnerabilities to our community, I think was really important for us to establish that bond and connection. But I really do think that you just have to go for it. Just take a deep breath and challenge yourself, because you're not going to grow by being comfortable. You grow through the challenges that you allow yourself to step into.
I feel like once I had the kids, I kind of had a breakthrough, because I got to this moment, and it's kind of like a funny moment for me, where like, I am literally pretty much naked, spread eagle on a table in front of how many nurses and doctors in that room. I was like, if I can do that, I can go and say hi to somebody. You know what I mean? Like, that is like my most vulnerable state that I could have ever been in. And I've done it twice now. Like, I think I can go say hi to a mom at the park. You know what I mean? Like, so I just kind of look at it with this funny, like, I've had a handful of people see me in all my glory. I think, I can, I can attack anything now. So
yes, leaning back on those prior moments where you were did something difficult or vulnerable like that, like giving birth, which all of us have done at some point as moms, whether it was, via your belly or vaginally, like those are very vulnerable moments, no matter how you give birth. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely leaning back on those other uncomfortable times and saying, okay, if I got through that, and that's something I do a lot when I'm like running, or I did that actually a lot when I was giving birth. I was like, okay, I've done a lot of triathlons. If I can do those, I can give birth. There's a lot of other women who have been in harder circumstances giving birth. I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leaning on those. I love that. A question I ask all my guests, and you can each give an answer because I want to hear both your takes on this. I want a little encouragement for the listener today. So tough love is defined as love expressed in a straightforward manner because you care about someone else's well-being or your own, because we can tough love ourselves. We can give some tough love to other people. So basically you're just not beating around the bush. You're getting straight to the point, and it's out of love. It's because you care about their mental, physical, and emotional well-being. So with that in mind, what one last encouragement do you want to give to the listeners today?
I think actually I'm going to do a real talk about this soon, because one thing that really frustrates me with the motherhood community, and more so, I think it's more so generations before us, is stop blaming your kids. Stop blaming your kids for, I hate the thing that, oh, you're having kids, your life is over. It's not. Stop saying that and stop encompassing that and thinking that, because if you do think that, that is exactly what's going to happen. If something is important to you, you will make it happen. And so if you're not doing something now because you've had kids, you need to be reflecting on yourself and thinking to yourself, maybe it wasn't as important to me because I'm not making time for it. And that's okay. But don't blame the having your kids on it for it. Motherhood's beautiful. Motherhood's a journey. Not everyone's motherhood and after, having kids looks the same. So just because someone's traveling a lot and you're not traveling, it doesn't mean anything. It means it fills their cup. And if it doesn't fill your cup, you need to recognize that and you need to move forward and find things that do fill your cup. Stop blaming having kids on things that have changed in your life since you've had kids.
That's a good one.
That's just the thing that really frustrates me is I think that it's so easy to say, oh, I don't work out anymore because I have kids and it's just really hard. You know what? If you don't work out anymore since you had kids, that's fine. That's okay. But don't blame them. It must not have been that big of a priority to you before. And that's perfectly fine, but don't blame them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess mine kind of ties into that is just like, don't make excuses. So a lot of people, like Theresa just said, they use their kids as the excuse, but it could be anything, right? Like my job is too time consuming. I mean, everybody has excuses, but whatever you feel like is important in your life, you need to make that a priority and you need to make time for it. And the only one that's hurting with your excuses is yourself. And so if like I've been dragging lately, like I'm tired, I have no energy, and it's because I haven't been active. I haven't been active enough for me, right? A lot of people would be like, you're one of the most active people I know, but to what fulfills my body, I haven't been active enough. And I know I've been filling my mind with excuses all the time. So that would be my tough love, is that stop making the excuses and make it a priority, and you will be better for it.
Amen. Amen to that. Where can everyone find you guys, follow you guys, shop Alyth Activewear?
AlythActive.com is the website. And then we are on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram under @Alyth Active.
Yes. And that's ALYTH in case y'all are searching it right now while
Thank
you're
you.
listening.
Yes.
I would be.
Yeah,
I linked it all below too, so they can find that super easily.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming on today. I appreciate hearing your hearts. I'm excited I mentioned this in the intro, but I'm super excited to partner with you guys as an ambassador because, again, our missions align so much and I love what y'all stand for. And I've fallen in love with the clothing. So, so excited for the future and to see where you guys take this company because it's amazing and you guys are going to do awesome things.
Thank you so much.
Aren't they just amazing? From where this company started, just the dream on their hearts, the seeds that were planted over the course of a year to Alyth Active becoming what it is today and the community that they envision for the future. I am just beyond excited for where they're going. and how they're going to impact you, how they're going to impact moms around the country and around the world. So I just want to remind you that you can head below. I link their Instagram, I link their Facebook, so you can go follow, connect, and find out about the events coming up in the future. And you can also shop their activewear at alythactive.com. If you shop at /Liz15, you'll get 15% off, which is a huge win. So make sure that if you decide to get anything, you use that so you get that discount. Go connect with them on social media. I'm excited. On Mondays, I'm going to start doing those workouts with them. Join the community, plug in, lean in, enjoy the realness that they share, enjoy the education that they share, and you seriously got to enjoy the comfort of their clothing. It is so awesome. I'm excited to be a part of their mission and to partner with them, to cheer them on, because women supporting women, moms supporting moms is how we get through the hard things and how we learn how to tough love ourselves. So let's link arms with Theresa and Alysha and Alyth Active. Let's link arms with them. Let's support what they're doing. And again, lean into community, find those friendships, find those connections, and do motherhood together. Before you go, thank you for spending this time with me on the Tough Love Mom podcast. If this episode encouraged you in any way, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a review letting me know how the show has impacted you. Then send this episode to another mom friend, or take a screenshot, post it on social media, and tag me so I can personally thank you for helping me on this journey to impact thousands of moms. I'm so grateful to be on this journey with you, sister. Until next time, get after it.